this week's episode of Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, Tekkadan's Earth branch has a traitor on the inside, who's working with Rustal Elion, as they plan to set up Tekkadan as the ultimate scapegoat and spark the flames of a brand new war. For the last couple of episodes, I've been painting McGillis Farid as sort of like the ultimate underhand villain, but when compared to Rustal, honestly, McGillis Farid seems like a nice guy. Rustal is insane, the lengths that he'll actually go to take down Tekkadan and to make Gallarhorn look bad, in particular, the branch that's associated with McGillis Farid. This week's episode was very heavy on the political drama, and unfortunately there were no mobile suit battles. There really weren't any mobile suits in this episode aside from the ones that were standing around, so in that sense, it wasn't exactly the most exciting episodes, but this one right here was certainly planting the seeds for an interesting story which is about to begin. Not only that, but we get to spend more time with some of the characters on Earth, such as Takaki, as well as Chad, who officially becomes the mayor of Strugglesville in this week's episode. The story this week is that the Arbrow Defense Force is about to have their official inauguration, and Tekkadan is going to be the security for this ceremony. Of course, everything goes completely wrong when Mr. Makanai is targeted and is almost killed with a bomb. Luckily, Chad is there to jump in the way, but they've both been severely injured, and we still don't know what their actual progress is. This is actually all this plan which has been set up by that one asshole by the name of Mr. Radice, who seems to only see the children as animals without education. He sees them as simply creatures, and he has an allergy to them, so they must be wiped out. He's actually working in conjunction with this brand new character by the name of Galen Massa, who is working for Rustal. He's the one who actually set up the assassination attempt, and is also getting ready to work internally with Tekkadan so that he can see things from the inside and begin another brand new war amongst the economic blocks and colonies. It's a little ridiculous, but still, you're gonna forget about all of that when you get a lot of great characterization from the character of Tataki and Aston in this week's episode. Aston himself is just such a stoic character, and so bleak about things. He's very black and white about stuff. In many ways, he's very similar to Mikazuki in a sense. Basically, he's there to kill or to defend, and in a great scene towards the end of the episode, Takaki lets him know that that is essentially no way to live. There's a lot more to than just blindly agreeing to kill someone or defend someone. It's not that easy to just let yourself die. It's some pretty heavy material, but honestly, that's kind of what you would expect from Iron-Blooded Orphans. So, this big conflict just went down, Mr. Makanai was just nearly assassinated, Chad is pretty much out of commission, so Orga has decided to send some of his best guys down to Earth, but the thing about this plan is, it's gonna end up biting him in the ass because it's gonna take him so long to get down there, so another big conflict could inevitably happen, leaving Tekkadan looking like a bunch of fools. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans? While not the most exciting episode of the series, I appreciate actually getting to spend some time with the other members of Tekkadan, especially the ones on Earth. Also, the whole story with someone inside of Tekkadan working with Rustal I think is really interesting, especially the character of Radice, who is just such a big freaking asshole, and I'm totally waiting for all of his comeuppance, because he is just completely screwing over Tekkadan here, and since he has sort of like control of the communication, people on Mars can't communicate with people on Earth. Everything is just in complete disarray, and you really get to see that come to a head in this episode when that assassination attempt goes on. There's also a small scene that I really liked between Julieta and Mecha Gali. What I really loved about this scene, of course, is that these characters are so incredibly similar, yet Julieta has a lot of resentment towards this guy because he just sort of came out of nowhere. He's already got like a really big position, and Julieta herself doesn't necessarily have a rank. She's just recognized for her mobile suit skills. Yet, that's sort of exactly what's going on with Mecha Gali as well. Really though, that's all I have to say about this week's episode. Just lots of political drama, with a few good character moments, setting up another brand new story in the second season of Iron-Blooded Orphans. I'm gonna give this week's episode a 3 out of 5. To me, it was an average episode. I am a little spoiled. Sometimes I just want a few mobile suit battles. That being said, the story here was still pretty good, and I'm sure it's gonna pick up a lot more in the next couple of episodes. What I will say is, this was a fascinating episode, getting to spend some time with some of the side characters of the series. So if you want to see that, definitely check out this week's episode. It is going to be the beginning of the next big arc in Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. So there's my thoughts on this episode, but before you guys leave, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below. Did you guys have a favorite scene from this episode? What events do you think are going to transpire as the next arc of Iron-Blooded Orphans begins? And what do you hope to see from the rest of this brand new Gundam anime? Thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, and leave me a comment or two. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.